All right, what's going on, YouTube? So I'm about 1 week in here with my Zfold 7, as you can see. I'm sorry, my angle here on my camera. I'm using the Ace Pro 2 to record this, so we're going to see how it goes. So 1 week in, I think about 8 days, to be honest. My overall first impressions of the phone are rather good. Obviously, you have an 8-inch inner display. The dimensions, I believe it's a 6.5-inch outer display. Samsung, it took 7 generations for them to finally understand that we don't want some skinny, tall thing. I guess some people liked it for one-hand typing. This is completely usable still for one-hand typing with one hand. But the outer display is significantly better. They finally listened to the consumers, which I know everybody is thrilled about. The front-facing camera on here, I don't know all the specs verbatim. I'm sure if you're looking at this phone, there's numerous other channels you can go to get that information. I'm just going to cover the basics, really. And I'm going to cover some of the issues that they finally addressed and they listened to the consumers about. For starters, yes, everybody is talking about how thin this phone is. Even with this very minimal case that I have on here. Let me just show you this case that I have. I forget the name of it. It does charge wirelessly. It's got this little pop out here. As so, little pop out ring, spins, but the case itself is super thin. It does have hinge protection and there is no front cover for the thing. I did order another case, which I'm going to have in, which is more for protection because I am in construction. If I drop the phone, yada, 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 which if you can see here, I was watching a video and I forgot that it has the feature where if you watch a video, you can do, put it in half like this and you can, which was perfect. I was laying in bed, but instead I had it on this metal phone holder, and it was on the edge of my bed laying down. It fell and it hit the screen right here, and I got a little indent where you can see the pixels. Granted, I did the $18 a month. No questions asked. They fixed damage, stolen, broken phones, water damage, accidental damage, everything like that. On a phone that is this expensive, it is really worth it. Now for me, I got an excellent deal on this. But check this out, man. Look how thin that is. This phone is just super thin, super nice, super lightweight. Let me see my OnePlus 13, which I have in my desk, which is cracked. My OnePlus 13 is definitely heavier than the Fold 7. Now, I've been I go between phones quite a bit. As you can see, the width difference on this is very noticeable. Now, the Oppo Find N5, I believe, is similar to the OnePlus 13, where it has the wider outer screen, which, frankly, I do like it better, but this is a huge step in the right direction. I think they did a fantastic job on the outer display here. It is definitely wider than the previous versions, and you can tell a difference. Even, for example, when you're just typing, it's so much easier to type and maneuver on a wider screen. Now, it's going to be up to preference. I know a lot of people did enjoy the thin screen on the prior Z Folds. I was not a fan at all. I did, for a short period of time, had the OnePlus open, I think for a couple weeks, and had to return it for financial reasons. I didn't get it on trade-in. My OnePlus 13 cracked about a month ago. 2 weeks ago, added on a quad lock as well. It popped out of the quad lock. It wasn't the official quad lock cases. They don't make it, but I had a thin case on my OnePlus 13 with the quad lock thing. Popped off of my scooter, fell, cracked, horrible. It's going to be like $400 to fix, which I might do it in the future, but I do have insurance on this. But the fact that, I would have taken a bigger battery and, I think it's 4,500 milliamp battery on this thing, and that is hands down my biggest complaint. I am charging this at, I would say, about 1 o'clock. I'm charging this. Granted, I have the Galaxy Watch Ultra here that's paired to it. I usually have Bluetooth enabled. I'm going through social media. I'm taking pictures, lots of Reddit, lots of Facebook, lots of YouTube. And then, of course, I also have my Kindle, which is excellent here. One thing I can say, I had the S24 Ultra for a little while, and then I ended up getting the Nubia Z60 Ultra, and I kept that over the S24. And it's been a love-hate relationship. One thing I can say for certain is that One UI is hands down the most featured packed Android skin on the market, without a doubt. And then, of course, you have Good Lock, right? And Good Lock just, has a plethora of features. And it's really a video you could do by itself covering every single feature that you have on this phone. But like I said, this is just my general first impressions of this phone. It's super light. It's super thin. I love the way it opens and closes. Lots of people said it's a little difficult, but I love it, and also in terms of the battery situation, I do have a 10,000 milliamp battery pack for wireless charging that I could throw on the back with the case and charge it wirelessly if I need to. It's pretty slow charging as well. I wish it was at least what the S25 Ultra had, and I think that's 45 watt charging, where obviously if you had a OnePlus 13 or OnePlus devices, they're 80-watt charging and they sell 100-watt charging bricks. You don't have to worry about battery life. Frankly, I just wish they would have went with a bigger battery on this device. That is really my only complaint about this phone. Multitasking on here is phenomenal. So a couple different ways. You can obviously keep it in the sidebar there, have two apps running side by side. You pull up this, and let's go ahead and pull up YouTube. And then you got three different windows you can use from. So multitasking on here, if you're in your gallery on one side and your messages, you just drag and drop, which is really nice. And then of course you can as well pull up a fourth app in the middle there. You can move it around. You can completely just lower it. Sorry, I'm spacing, but pop back up, boom. Or you can go full screen, slide over on the bottom. It will bring you right back to your previous apps that you had open. Another kind of cool feature that I did not know, I found this in another YouTube reviewers, where for the multitasking here, if you go like this, right? So click here. Maybe I need to go over a little bit more. You know what? Let's go ahead and try a different app. So we'll pull up YouTube, swipe in with two fingers from the side, and then let's do Facebook, right? So if you slide it all the way over like that, so it's very minimal on the side, you can kind of go between the two, which is pretty cool. Reminds me of the OnePlus Open, which in my opinion has the best multitasking on any folding phone, hands down. It's just the most intuitive. It's awesome. It's great. I really hope Samsung will implement something sooner down the line that mimics that, or maybe they can improve on it somehow. Now, even when you're here, you can't, if you're doing it like this, multitasking like this, you can't bring up a third app. You can't even bring up a pop-up app to have in the middle, right? So these are the only two apps you can have side by side, but still pretty cool and still pretty useful for sure. So yes, the multitasking on here is great. Samsung itself has a lot of really neat built-in widgets that I like. And if you're not familiar, they have this thing called DIY. You'll see it right here, DIY in the corner there for your home screen. And that basically allows you to, let's take an app. We'll use Instagram, for instance, and you can pretty much set this thing wherever you wanted to. You could lay it on top of another app, as you can see there. You can make it bigger. I believe there's a way to enlarge it. You can also twist it, turn it a certain way. If you want to do an app of circles and they're all facing right, you could do that. I haven't dug too deep into here, but I do like the home screen layout that they have going here. Now, if you close the phone, there is a way where you can mimic the inside. As you can see, my outer display is the same as my inner display. So we open it up, and you get the exact same layout as I have when the phone is closed. But you can turn that feature off, and you can have them completely different from one another. So your screen on here would be different when you open it up. Just going into the display settings, let's take a look here. Let's go to settings. Let's go to, cover screen mirroring. So you can turn that on and off, cover screen mirroring. But overall, I am impressed with this phone. The cameras on this phone, I would say the main camera lens on here does really well, takes good photos. Let's go ahead and use this for an example here. Main camera does a pretty good job. It's good. There's no real complaints. Obviously, it's not going to be on par with the S25 Ultra or even the OnePlus 13 for that matter. But I believe, if I'm not mistaken, now it is a 12 megapixel count, but you can go into the settings and turn that up, I believe, to 50 or 200 megapixels. If I'm not mistaken, yes, which I was correct. And that's only with the main camera sensor here. I'm just looking between the 12 and the 200 megapixel pictures. So the camera department, it's great for a folding phone. I'm sure the Oppo is better. And I know the Honor Magic V5. I was dead set on the Honor Magic V5. But to be honest with you, I got a great deal on this phone, and that's why I did not pass it up. I got it for a significant discount as well. So that's why I didn't go for the Honor. The Honor would have cost me an extra $500-600, which I wasn't willing to spend. And obviously, you have to import that phone, which is not really a big issue with AT&T. It definitely can be. Sure, you will get 5G in most places. They have bands, but you have to call them and you have to get it off the list so you can actually use to make phone calls in that thing, because it's not a phone that I think AT&T years ago went through and they made a change where it made it very difficult for you to use phones outside of the US. So you have to talk to technical support and kind of go through these hurdles, but you can get them to work full functioning. The software on that was looked pretty cool too, but that's neither here nor there. Like I said, this is just like having a regular slab phone in your pocket. Actually, let's grab that OnePlus 13 again, and let's just, for comparison purposes, we're going to put them side by side here. Sorry about the lighting. I know it's not the best. Side by side, I believe, just by looking at it, I believe that they are very, very, very similar. The OnePlus 7 closed is indeed thicker by not by much, right? It's really not by much, but it is thicker. Nonetheless, when it is unfolded, of course, the Zfold 7 is going to be thinner by a little bit. It's definitely noticeable. But in hand usage, you can't tell the difference. To me, OnePlus 13 feels heavier in the hand. Let's go ahead and switch hands here. I could be off on that, actually, but it's very light. It's very thin, and I think they did an excellent job. The inner screen is amazing. If you're a Kindle guy, if you like to read books, if you got your books on here, these are great for reading. They're great for multitasking. Of course, Samsung DeX. I have a monitor directly in front of me so I can get all my work done if I needed to type up an essay, which I never do. I'm not a student. I'm not in school. But it is great to be able to push that. And I know they have wireless decks now as well. I think you have to have a Samsung compatible TV or monitor, if I'm not mistaken. But I don't use decks all that often. And to be honest with you, I sold my gaming laptop. I don't game nearly as much as I used to. I just kind of lost interest. But I am planning on getting the Samsung Tab S10 Ultra, the 11 and out. Frankly, I think it has um, some things. You know, the Bluetooth S Pen is gone. The camera looks funny. I think there's a lot of downgrades, very minimal upgrades. You know, it's a give and take, but I am going to be getting that. I got the Watch Ultra now. I don't use this for any health tracking benefits. I'm one of the healthiest people I know, so I'm not too concerned about my health in all reality. I use this mainly for when I'm at work and I either can't be on my phone or I'm in construction and I'm worried about dust or damaging my phone. I can keep this in my backpack and I can get all my calls, my texts. I think this is 32 gigabyte storage model, so I got music downloaded on my Spotify, which leads me to the next one, and this would be the Samsung Galaxy Buds 3 Pro, which I just got these 2 days ago, and so far I like them. I just kind of wanted to be in the quote-unquote Samsung ecosystem where everything just comes together very nicely and works very intuitively, and so far that has been my experience. These sound phenomenal. I know I didn't even look up reviews, in all honesty. I just went ahead and got them. I got them for like $120 off OfferUp, brand new in the box, and for that price I think they're well worth it for sure. They sound amazing. The voice features on here are excellent. Stop music, volume up, skip track, all that good stuff is really good. I haven't used these for work yet, but I guess the active noise canceling is amazing on here from what I heard. Now, I did look up reviews or went on Reddit afterwards, and a lot of people were complaining about the cheap feel of these. And you know, for what they charge brand new, I think the prices came down substantially. These came out last year, I believe. And they retail for about $200 now. Like I said, I got them for $120, and I have no complaints for that price. Would I pay full price for these? Probably not. The build quality is definitely on the lower end, if you ask me. They feel plastic, and they went the Apple route with the with the look. The aesthetics for sure. They look just like that, the Apple Pods or whatever they're called. I'm not an Apple fan by any means, but I am within the ecosystem. I do want to get the tablet as I no longer have a computer, so that is going to be on my lists. Like I said, this is just a quick overall impression. I will do a detailed walkthrough of One UI 8. I believe that is on here. Let's go ahead and check. Software update, about phone, and we are on One UI 8. That is correct. Android 16, One UI 8. No, it's been very fluid, very fast. No, there's been no lags or hiccups that I've noticed. No power resets or anything like that. I don't know what people are. I know more than anything, people are upset by the battery life on here. But if you're gonna have to charge once through the day. If you don't want to have to deal with that, and I completely understand, then I would definitely go for the Honor Magic V5 or the Oppo Find N5. Or, of course, you can get the Vivo Fold as well, which I've heard nothing but great things about. But yeah, I mean, look how freaking thin this folding phone is. It's amazing technology and where we're at. And it's pretty awesome. I like having the latest and greatest tech. I go through phones like hotcakes. I'm definitely going to keep this minimum for at least a year. My guess is I really hope OnePlus comes back and releases another Open here in the US, and I'll definitely trade this in and get that, or I'm going to get the Fold 8, hoping that they address the issue with the battery life. And I'm not trying to hear that shit. They can't fit it in this phone because of the thinness. The Vivo, the Honor Magic 5 did it, V5, the Oppo N5 did it. Granted, the Oppo's not as thin as this, but whatever. If you need to make it bigger, thicker, make it bigger and thicker. I believe most people would rather have battery life that's adequate and will be able to get you through the day without having to charge your phone. This does have baked into it wireless charging, of course. It does. Unfortunately, they did not go MagSafe built in internally. I know the latest Pixel phone had that. I think every Android phone needs to have that going forward. If you have a lot of MagBack accessories, MagSafe accessories, I got this. So let's go ahead and throw this case back on here. It's a carbon fiber case. I don't believe it is real carbon fiber. I got this case for like $50, but frankly, I think it looks great. It's not a fingerprint magnet, which is great. It has this little stand here so you can, kick the phone up. If we go into this mode here, we can keep the phone propped up like this as well. But anyways, that acts as a mag back. Pop it on. Wrong way. There we go. And yeah, holds on pretty well. So this case does work for that. And I got this case because of the fact that it's thin, lightweight. I really appreciate that. The fact that I'm paying $18 a month in insurance, which is not much at all, covers me from drops, accidents if my phone gets stolen. And then I really like this little pop socket that I found. Let me show you this. And it's a freaking magnet on here. It's amazing. If I can take this guy off. So it's got a little arrow here. You just push it, pops up. Let's go ahead and throw that on. So if you can see, sorry, the lighting is horrible in here. I need to do something about that. Pop that up. Boom. And you can, it's great. And it's super thin. You can barely even tell that it's on the phone. It is thin indeed. Just press it. Boom. Pops out. Pretty awesome possum. Overall impressions. Would I recommend this? Yes. 100% would recommend this if you are looking for a folding phone. Obviously, if you're in the US and you don't want to import, your options are limited. Now, with all that being said, I do believe that the first OnePlus Open is still a great candidate in 2025. If you look on eBay, Amazon, you'll be able to find one open box renewed for about $1,200-$1,300. And I still think that's a great option. The battery life, the multitasking on that, and the camera is probably going to be better. Frankly, I am a fan of the OnePlus UI. Now, with that being said, this is definitely the most feature-packed, feature-rich Android software that's on the market. It's endless. And then, I'm still learning about the modes and routines, which are really handful and useful. You can do quite a bit of stuff. It's just pretty cool. I'm a tech guy. I love the software aspect to Androids, and I think Samsung is doing a phenomenal job in that department. I just think they need to implement for their folding phones a different multitasking thing that's similar to either the Honor Magic V5 or what OnePlus is doing with their multitasking on their open phones. So all in all, yes, would highly recommend it. Google Pixel, I have not yet seen it. I've not held it, not been to Best Buy. I'm just not really a fan of stock Android. I think I like features. I like to go in and customize and tweak my phones. And with stock Android on their phones, on the Pixels, you can't really do too much of that. But I know a lot of people love their phones. I'm not hating on it, by any means, but if you like tweaking and customizing your device, Samsung's the way to go. Now, if you're somebody who doesn't mind importing a device, I would definitely look into the Honor Magic V5 or the Oppo Find N5. Obviously, you're going to have to pay full price on those devices rather than here in America where you go to Samsung or you go to your wireless carrier provider and they have trade-in options and you can finance them and things of that nature. You can't do that with the Oppos or the Honor Magic phones. But if money is not an issue to you, then I would definitely do your due diligence and research and definitely go through and check out your options. But overall, great phone. I would recommend it. Samsung just give us faster wired charging. I believe OnePlus has 50-watt wireless charging, which is faster than Samsung's wired charging. And I know that the Chinese companies are now, or have been since OnePlus 13, are using a new battery technology now. So Samsung needs to go ahead and try and implement that in their next time around. But once again, I would recommend this phone. It's fantastic. If you don't mind having to charge the phone once throughout the day, then it's going to be a non-issue. It's going to fit in your pocket, no problem. It feels just like a slab. And then, of course, you have this beautiful inner 8-inch screen display, which is the reason why you would be getting this phone. So I'm not a gamer when it comes to phones. Angry Birds was my jam back in the day, but I can't commenting on gaming. Day-to-day use, I'm not feeling the phone heat up too bad. Even while charging, I don't feel like it gets too warm. It gets a little bit warm, but I think that's normal. Nothing to be worried about for sure. But if you have any questions, any comments, go ahead and leave them down there. If you like the video, go ahead and like it. If you don't, that's fine too. But if you have anything you want me to address in the next video, I'm going to try and outline some of the features in the One UI here, and just go of more of an in-depth review here. I completely just freestyle this, and I kind of just speak what's on my mind. I don't really do too much pre-planning here. So anyways, drop a comment, hit the like button if you like it. If you don't, that's fine. Hope you guys are having a blessed day. Peace.